Lens guards are going to be really helpful for your Insta360 X3 and X4 cameras to make sure you do not scratch up your lens. That's going to be really expensive to replace. So a lens guard is going to be really nice because it is something that can be permanently attached to your camera and you can remove it as needed. There are certain situations you do not want to use that on because if you take this underwater with a lens guard on it, the water will get trapped in there and it will mess up your footage. So make sure you remove that before you go underwater. Use an underwater case if you're going to. And then you have the ability to take this on and off. Now, as you can see, there is a ring around the camera lens, and this is on both sides of the camera. And then all you have to do is slide in your lens guard. So you can see that little plastic tab right there. You're just going to be able to shift that and then take it right off of your lens cap. So if anything happens, you can just remove it, replace it, or you can remove it and clean it and then just twist it right back on so that it is locked into place. Now this will potentially keep some fog in there if you are in a situation where you have very different temperatures happening rapidly. So if you do get that lens fog on the inside, just move it over and open it up until the fog goes away and then put it back on. I actually encountered that when I was in a strawberry patch recently because I had been out in the heat and then I shoved it in the wet plants and it got a little foggy. So all I had to do was open it up and remove that fog and then I could attach it again and go back to what I was doing. But you can see that there's that protective ring that holds that right in place on that lens so that it is covering it at all times. And then inside of your Insta360, all you have to do is set it so that it knows there's a lens protector on there so it can compensate for it because it does have the ring around it and because it is a slightly different size than the lens itself, there's going to be a little bit of distortion if you do not signify inside of your setup, which you're going to do through the Insta360 app, that there's a lens guard on there so that it can compensate properly for it. And this is just plastic. It's not going to be anything that's too breakable. If it scratches, it's easy to replace. I am going to link this down below. You do want to get the official ones. Don't get the cheap knockoff ones. Those are not going to serve what you are trying to do. It is not going to go well for you. So get the official ones. And I've had this the entire duration that I have had this camera and I have not had any scratches or any issues with it. There's never been a problem with it and it doesn't actually distort too much of the footage. Every once in a while you'll get that line, but you get that anyway just from the way the 360 camera works. So I highly recommend making sure you have a lens guard to this, and it comes in the pack to have it on both sides so you don't have to buy separate ones. And it's very easy for you to put on. You just attach this ring so you can see the gray ring that matches the camera right there. You put that on first and it sizes perfectly for it. So you can actually look, especially on the front here, it's got a flat space here and a flatter space there so that it lines up the correct way. It's really hard to put this on incorrectly. And then you're just going to pop the lens into it, set it with the bottom corner down first and then the top, and then just move that right over so it locks into place and you are good to go from there. And then you just want to make sure you're keeping some kind of lens cover on it so that we don't have unnecessary scratching in your bag or as you're transporting it. Make it really easy for you to create your content while protecting your glass lens, which would be way more expensive for you to replace if something happens to it. I would much rather you have a little bit of damage on this lens cover than your actual lens if you are going to be working with your Insta360. Again, I will link this down below for you and follow along for more tips, tricks, and tech that you can be using with your Insta360 to help level up your content and make it way easier for you to be an effective content creator and save a lot of time, effort, stress, and money when it comes to creating that content. We'll see you then.